You should now see a C colon followed by a backslash and a greater than sign, followed by a short blinking line. Don't worry if yours looks a little different. This is known as the command line or the DOS prompt. If you don't see this, your computer has probably been set up to start running some sort of shell or software program. You need to exit any of these programs and join us at the C prompt. Most of these programs will tell you somewhere on the screen how to exit or have a file menu where exit will be located. So we can all be starting at the same place. Everyone type CD backslash and enter. This action takes us to the root directory. We'll discuss what we just did later. With the C prompt displayed, DOS is waiting for you to enter a command. There are all kinds of commands you can type here to ask DOS to do different things. We'll cover some of these commands, but first let's see how to enter them. Notice the blinking line after the prompt. This line is called the cursor and marks the spot on the screen where commands will be entered when you start typing. Lisa, try typing your name. Notice how the cursor moves over a bit to mark where each letter will show up next. If you make a mistake here, you can correct it using the backspace key, which is usually located near the top right area of your keyboard. It has a straight arrow pointed to the left on it and sometimes has the word back on it. Try this. Hold down the G key for a couple of seconds. Notice how the letter keeps repeating itself. Now press the backspace key and notice how the characters are erased one at a time from the cursor position to the left. Okay, hold the backspace key down until all the text is erased and we are back to the prompt. The current drive that is shown at the DOS prompt, drive C in our case, is called the default drive. Default is a computer expression meaning until you tell DOS otherwise, every action you perform will go to or come from the default or C drive like a home base. For example, a default color could be a background color you wanted to have on the screen every time you wrote a letter. Then, every time you started your word processor to write that letter, the screen would change or default to that color. If we had an A prompt on the screen, all our information would default to or from our A drive. Here is how you can change the default drive. You must first insert a disk you know contains some data or programs into the A drive. You are now looking at a floppy disk drive which is located on the CPU. The floppy disk drive has an opening for the disk to go into and a little handle called a drive door. On a single drive system, there is no problem finding drive A because it can only be drive A. But on a two-drive system referred to as a dual drive system, the second drive is drive B. The A drive is usually the top drive, but not always. You may have to check with someone to make sure which is drive A. To insert the disk in the drive correctly, make sure you have the smooth side up, the side with a label. Make sure the end with the disk exposed in the oval hole goes in first. And close the drive door. At the C prompt, type A: and press enter. We now see our DOS prompt is A:, and all data will be written to or read from our new default drive, the A drive. Okay, everyone type C:, enter, and we are back to our C drive. It's possible your computer's hard drive is partitioned into more drive names. Your system may have a D drive and possibly an E drive. If you're not sure, you can find out by typing D or E: and pressing enter. If the drive doesn't exist, you'll get a message saying invalid drive specification and will be returned to the active drive. Lisa, you can have up to 26 different drives. Again, at the C prompt, DOS is waiting for us to give it a command. Usually you would be starting some kind of program like a word processor here. But this lesson is about learning what DOS does, so let's take a look at some DOS commands.